Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Still Unnamed podcast. Today, we are going to be reviewing the highly anticipated Blue People movie Part 2, Avatar: The Way of Water. I am Natalia, and I am joined by our favorite class Ouija, um, Sohail, who's like never here.
Hello.
What do you think? Also, are we going to talk about
Well,
spoilers?
yeah, I think
Okay,
we will. But
sweet.
let's just set the scene, right?
General
Yeah.
thoughts.
I watched the first one in theaters. I was a wee lad,
You were a babe.
I was a bairn.
Or
Just
a baron. Is
a
that
yeah, a bairn is
uh,
very young. Yeah, or a Wayne,
wait,
anything like that. A bairn would be a baby,
a
but
baron? That's your Scottish word of the day.
that and Wayne.
Yes.
Anyway, but I was only what 11. I was actually starting high school as well, so that was interesting. Anyway, so watching that in 3D and watching that over my glasses because I had glasses since I was 8, so that was quite
Same.
an interesting that was an interesting trip. But that was beautiful. I love the first one. I'm in that camp of I don't care what you say, that was a brilliant film, and it showed in the box office as well. So that was very good. And it was great to revisit Pandora. I thought
Yeah.
I was like, and at night is just beautiful, but I
Oh,
thought
it's great.
it was brilliant. Like
Yeah.
when they immerse you back into it, I felt like it was 2009 all over again. And I watched this film on Thursday.
You've had it for a
Um,
while.
excuse me, Avatar 1, I mean,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Um, and I was actually trying to find the 5 hour version because I heard there's a 5 hour version of all the deleted
I
scenes.
couldn't do that.
No. And then I watched the behind the scenes documentary.
You're dedicated.
Yeah. And that was great. That's on YouTube as well. I don't think it'll get struck down rather, because it's on there for like 11 years or whatever. So if
I
you are
haven't gotten it
interested,
yet, so
no, no, no. But if you are interested in watching it, I'd say go for it because it really does show that they had to make all new tech and really give James Cameron like a screen to hold on to while everyone is acting away and he can see them in avatar form. And I thought that was really well done. So I can't wait for them to show us the behind the scenes of this film. Hopefully, it doesn't take 2 years or whatever for them to post it for us to see it. But I'm sure it's going to be similar to what that documentary gave us. So yeah, the starting, I think if you just want to dive into it, what do you say, Natalia?
yeah, I felt like that was pretty solid to
Wait,
open
let
up,
me ask you a
especially.
question,
Yeah.
right? You said the first one was too long. This one, the Avatar 2, was longer in
Yes.
minutes. Did you feel like it was longer than the first one?
Yes, but I enjoyed it more.
Ah, right,
I
okay.
felt like I just didn't really like care for the first one in general. When it first came out, I saw it like maybe once or twice, and I
Right.
understood why it was so successful. But for me, I always felt it from like a tech standpoint and like a beauty standpoint. Um, I do think it's incredibly advanced for what it was in 2009, and I do
Hmm.
find it very beautiful. That are basically the good things that I have to say about the first one. And Zoe Saldana destroys that movie. Good on her, girl. Every
Yeah.
single time she started crying, I was like, yes. She was great. But the writing of the first one, I was just bored with it. What, like the first time
It was
that I
more
watched it,
generic than you'd think.
very.
Yeah.
And even with rewatching it before I went to go see it,
Hmm.
I was like, I'm not interested in like any of these people.
No, I was
Mm,
very invested. I was like, this is
I
so sad.
like there were parts that I remember, and I was like, I think it's just like I don't know. There was something about it as I was rewatching the first one that I was kind of just like, it felt like homework. And I didn't
Okay.
want the second one to just feel like homework for me to review. So I am
Right.
happy that I enjoyed it. Um, at least more than the first one, but I still felt like this one was
Mm. And see the second one, they obviously go into a new environment. The Way of
mm-hmm.
Water
The way of water
is
with the
literally the
islands. Yeah.
yep. And they're learning how to live by the water. Did you feel like that was, I mean, because in the
I
first one he had to learn the language and learn
Learn
their way
language
of
and
being
their way and
forest people.
culture. Yeah.
But in this one they did it
They
less
all
so.
had to adapt. But yeah.
Yeah.
And they were
Apart
all
from the
really
water, the
focusing.
about the water bit where they're trying to breathe
Hmm.
underwater or like try not to die basically.
Yep.
Other they learn everything else pretty easily. What do you think?
Yeah. I I enjoy that part. And I like that they were focusing more on the children for that aspect.
Mhm.
By the way, guys, they have 4 or 5 kids. There's so many kids. Um,
And some of them
I
are even their kids.
And yes, there's adopted Sigourney Weaver. When I found out, I saw someone tweet about this movie and they were like, Sigourney Weaver was great in this one. And I was like, didn't she die in the first one?
Oh, you didn't watch any of the interviews, did you?
I don't care.
No.
I no. I was just
So,
doing this because I
yeah,
had to. I didn't want to watch any press, but also because nothing like showed up on my feed. So I
yeah.
didn't see anything. But I just saw someone tweet that like Sigourney Weaver was great in The Way of Water. And I was like, her character died in the first one.
I actually
And then
found out she
it's
was,
because they made like a mini me version of Sigourney Weaver.
yeah. I mean, I found out she was playing, she was coming back in 2015
Oh,
when she said in an interview, oh yeah, James Cameron's doing 4 movies and I'll be back. And I was like, how are you going to be back?
you
You
died.
died. You
You
died.
died.
But I felt when you're watching the first scene because they're like building it up, right?
Hmm.
Quaritch is
One kid
back.
to another kid to another.
Sigourney is back. Spider's there,
Hmm.
um, and all the other 3 kids, right?
The two brothers, the
And took the
oldest,
sister.
yes.
Loak is the oldest, I think. I don't know.
Loa.
No, no, no.
Oh no, Loic is the
Loak is
second,
the second. Yeah,
the one that
Took is
wants to
the
be a
young.
warrior. Tuk is
Yeah,
the youngest.
and I forgot the one that
Baby
died.
Sigourney Weaver, who whatever the eldest one
The
that
eldest one.
spoiler alert.
We'll just call him the golden child, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The golden child. Yes.
Um. So yeah, I mean, like when I was watching it, like, oh yeah, Sigourney's back, but she's Grace's
She's
daughter,
yes.
and then
She's
okay,
teen
no
Sigourney
farther found
Weaver.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
Spider's there, and I forgot when I first watched the trailer, I was like, why is there a human boy in this field
Same.
of blue? And I forgot that the humans are still there in Pandora, so I was like, oh okay, but none of them had children.
No, there was not a child.
In these 13 years, I was like, none of them got frisky. No,
I
no
mean,
one wanted.
they wrote it in there, so it must have happened.
But it wasn't his. It
It
wasn't
was
theirs. It was
no,
Quaritch's
it was
son.
Quaritch's, yeah.
But who's the mother?
But they
That's
don't know. And
mm,
I don't think it's that like
it's not
important because they
important.
were
But
focusing
yeah,
on I don't want to be my father's son.
yeah.
And
And
okay,
the
I'm trying not to
Graces,
skip around, but
Sigourney's. I don't know. We'll say Sigourney or Katie. That's her
Katie, that's
character's
her
name.
name.
Katie. Yeah,
I loved her character a lot.
she was more teenager-esque than the other
Yeah.
teenagers that are playing.
She
Like because
I
all
love
of them
it.
are teenagers. Well, they're now adults, right?
Yeah.
Because they made the film way back when. But yeah, Spider, I was like, okay. And then when Katie goes to meet Grace in the Cairo chamber, I'll just
Hmm.
call it that. I don't even know what it is. Nah. And then they were talking about who's the father, this, that, or the other, which becomes a plot point, but
But
then
not
it doesn't.
really.
Yeah. Which I think in Avatar 3 they'll explain it, but I think it's self-explanatory. I think it's just, hey, well, I just gave her a child. I don't know.
I
Um,
don't know.
so yeah, and then Spider says, you don't want to know your dad or something to that effect. I was like, you're
Well,
Quaritch's son. I knew it.
yeah, yeah, for
I knew it
sure.
from then on. Because then after that, the scene comes to Quaritch comes in
when he's
I think he's
blue.
still in Pandora. Yeah.
Oh
No,
no,
no, no,
yeah.
no, no. He's in that ship coming down to Pandora.
Hmm.
And I was like, that's obviously a
That's
sign
Scorch.
that and I was like,
Yeah.
you old dirty man. What are you thinking? Um, but at that point, it's important to know the general. She said Earth is dying and we're
Hmm.
all coming here, or something like that. So these ships that take 5 years, right?
Yes.
There's obviously more on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
wait. Does that just mean that every single sequel is going to be like the first and they just keep moving around and around? I mean, I know that we
I
don't
thought
know, but if
I
that
thought
is
they
going to
will
be the
move
thing,
around
I'm
though.
going to be even more bored than I already was.
Now, because you watched the first one and you watched it in parts, you may have missed. Well, you
No,
didn't watch
no.
the ending.
I had like 45 minutes left and then I went to bed.
Okay.
And then I woke up and I finished it.
What? Okay. So, okay. I don't know if you missed the scene then, because at the time they're regrouping in the first one,
Hmm.
when the tree's down, and
Yes.
afterwards they make a plan. They
Hmm.
go to certain villages.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that. That
Right.
was
Yeah.
great. I loved it.
Yeah. So I'm like, they might go to one of them next or to others.
No, no, I understand that part. My question is, if that does end up being the case, is
Hmm.
each new film just going to be them moving around to
Moving
somewhere
around. Yeah.
else because
So
they're
they're going to be
going to
like
be
gypsies in
hunted?
a way. Yeah.
Don't use that word, Romani.
No. Well,
No G slurs.
they're going to be
They're going to be
migrants.
nomadic. They're going to be
Yeah.
nomadic.
Not about it. Sorry, everyone. I didn't mean
But
that.
I don't, I'm gonna be so like I get it that they're
But
the core family and everything, and that they're for sure who we're going to be following around with. But is each movie just going to be 3 hours of them first off? Oh, we got to move again because the sky people are coming back, so we're going to go to somewhere else, and then we're going to end up being a part of their tribe, and then we're gonna stay here, and then the sky people are gonna come back, and da, 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 da. Like I just I know that we are completely
yeah,
glossing over the movie that we have seen, but it just feels very copy paste, and I
what
am not interested.
I don't think I hear you, because at the end of the second film, they were thinking they'll go back
Hmm.
to tree people, but
But
then they're like
then
they're water people now,
the water
and
people
I'm
were
like,
like,
are they still going to continue being nomads? Um,
we don't know.
I don't think it. I think, well, there's a lot of questions, right, for the third one. Um, like for example, where's the general in all this? You know, the
Well,
battle was very small compared to the first one.
yeah, he, God, I hated the fact that Spider saved him. That was the dumbest thing.
Yeah. Um. Oh,
Let
should we
him
just talk
die.
about what was good and what was bad, and then we can
Yeah,
just go from there. Let's start with Spider.
no,
So, no, why not?
no. Let's start with him. No, I do not like him.
Okay. I found I was like, okay, you're Quaritch's son, and gives his character merit for
Hmm.
being in the
Yeah,
film,
for
other
sure.
than just being
The
a
human boy that
broke-ass
wants to be an
boy.
alien.
Yeah, like the wannabe Tarzan of the film. Um, but that wasn't it. He actually has um
Need.
some storyline, yeah,
Yeah.
and meaning. Um, okay, so my problem is that he was too involved with being with the enemy.
He
And I was like,
stuck
weren't
around
you
for
born
way
in
too
Pandora?
long.
Yeah. Weren't you born with these people? Why do you want to catch them so bad? Like, why are you allowing
Why
them?
is
Like, there
he
was no,
continuing to help them for
yeah,
so long?
the only hook that Quaritch, well, hook would be a wrong word to use here, but the thing to make him not escape or plan to escape was that they put a tracker in
In his mast.
the, yeah, in the mask, right? And I was like, surely you should know something how to get out of that provocative situation. But no, he was just like, oh, what's this? What's that? Oh, let me go out with you guys.
Misdirection.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And I was like, was it because he wants to be with his dad? Like,
I don't think that that would be the case because one of the first things that that boy ever said was, "You don't want to know your father." And he has been fighting his whole life with the knowledge of his father and the stuff that
yeah.
he has done in relation to his like adopted family.
Hmm.
Like, I don't think it was a kind of bonding moment. And especially because Quaritch was the one who was like, "That's not my kid." You know? Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like that was more of a, what do you call it? Uh, call my bluff kind of thing when he said that to Nateri.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't really hit the way I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like Spider, he was there to save Quaritch at the end. And at the end,
Unnecessary.
Quaritch
He
did
didn't.
say, come with me, son.
Yeah. But I
But then
think
Spider
again, it
goes back
felt
to being
more,
Navi, and I'm like,
yeah.
yeah.
But I think that "come with me, son" part was meant to be more in line so then he could use Spider as mediator.
I I wouldn't disagree with that. I felt like I mean, he
Because
just
that's how
got
he
out of
was the
being
whole
drowned.
time.
But yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
like how, but there
Like
were moments
maybe,
where he wasn't like Quaritch, the human
yes.
Quaritch. Like
Yeah.
he would have killed everyone. He
Yes.
didn't. The only bad thing he did was allow an animal to die and torching a village up. Obviously, that's bad, but
Very bad.
Navi deaths weren't really happening as what you'd expect from a human
The
or a
original
Quaritch.
Quaritch.
Yeah,
This is pre-Scar Quaritch.
yeah.
Yeah.
So something's changed in him.
You
Um,
know, near death
and it's
experience kind of thing, for sure.
yeah. And speaking of Quaritch, right, when he looks at those bows and those are Natiri's bows, right?
Yes.
And
That's
I was like, why do you keep looking at them? And I'm like, it's
it's
probably because he thinks Natiri is the big bad instead of
well, I
excuse
think
me. I
that, but
meant Jake.
also because Natiri was the one that killed him with the arrows twice through
Yeah,
the heart. So it's
it
his
was mainly because of that.
mentality of being like, this is my end goal. My revenge is Jake Sully, but also so that I
Yeah.
can get an arrow through her heart.
Mm. Yeah, that made sense.
I
And
personally,
every other Navi that the Avatar became, I think they just died.
yeah,
And Quaritch is the only one that's
Quaritch was the
remaining.
only one that lived.
His team was so dumb.
I not a single personality. There was one guy, the bald guy, who was the same as the last guy, and I realized as I was watching the first one, that guy
Yeah.
wasn't Daredevil. He
Was he?
was, yes, he was
Who?
Stiltman. Well, Stillman was never named, but he
Okay.
was the guy that made Daredevil's suit.
Right. That series is a bit of a blur to me because I watched it quite long ago. Don't think I'll watch it again because I think I've had my fill. But no, that's interesting. The other one was that she was
There was
chewing
a
gum.
yeah, the Gum
Yeah,
Girl. There was
yeah.
like
And
they
that's
were
it.
incredibly
That's it.
expendable.
Yeah. And
Um,
they just died. I was like,
they
yeah,
just died.
okay, I
Yeah.
don't really care.
Um,
So
I
yeah,
f-
that's really with Spider and Quaritch.
I felt like out of acting wise in terms of all of the um kids, I felt like Spider was weaker than everyone
Yes.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at the time when this was more apparent when the son died
Mm-hmm.
and Quaritch tells Jake in the earpiece, like, your daughters are here, I'm going to kill them next, blah, blah, blah. And then he he asks Spider where Quaritch is. And Spider's like, here, let's go.
Come on,
We're just
adventure time.
camping.
Come on, let's go. Let's go
Like,
save him.
your
One of your
your
best
adopted brother
friends
just died.
died.
Like, why are you
Why
so
aren't
giddy?
you mourning?
Yes. And I
I
felt like
get
the whole
why,
thing,
because he had to help him get on there and everything and the
and
location.
he has a connection with Kitty as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense when you think back at it. But when you watch it, you're like, could you at least like try to be sad?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like he
Yeah.
was more like,
He was really stilted compared to
yeah, he
everyone
was
else.
disconnected from what was going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the death, right? it was quite sad. Obviously, it was sad, but I felt like the parents. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself here in the story, but I felt like the parents um, really overcame their grief quite
I
suddenly.
I
But
think
it made sense at
that
the
was
end of the film
yeah, and I think that
that
was
they were still grieving.
necessary, especially in that moment because they were like,
Oh yeah,
we also have to save our daughters.
yeah. So, what did you think about the whole film anyway?
I liked it, as I said before, I liked it better than the first one, but I still think it was kind of
Mm,
definitely. I think you for sure, and I say this with a grain of salt because I rarely do say this. Um, it would be the best possible thing to see in theaters. I'm not a 3D kind of person.
mm.
Those tickets are expensive. They were like $30, and I was like, that's
Oh,
too much money. Yes.
well, that's very expensive. It's usually
Yes.
half of that over here.
Wow. Yeah, so it was like $30 and I was like, I don't have that kind of money and I'm still looking for Christmas presents for people, so I'm just gonna
Hmm.
do regular
Well, less than a
schmegular.
week
Yes.
mhm,
Yeah.
at the time of this recording.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna do like a regular thing early in the morning. For cheap tickets. And it was like there were maybe like how many people? There were maybe like 12 people in my screening.
Interesting.
Um, hey, it was 10:30 in the morning.
Mm,
Granted, it was early morning, um, an early screening on a Sunday.
mm,
Um, I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I tend to go to
mm,
the movies on Sundays,
right.
and Saturdays. So I don't know if other people, what day you usually go to, but for me, that's kind of the crowd that I get.
I
It's
mean,
never going to be packed for me.
yeah. I mean, I usually go the first time it comes out. I mean, the pandemic has really ruined midnight screenings
Oh,
because they don't
you
do
want to
that
be with
anymore.
like everyone.
Everyone, I love that. I love that. Even though I'm an introvert anyway, but when it comes to movies, I love having the atmosphere. That's actually the screening I went to was like 7:30 and on a Friday, so the weekend or the start of the weekend, and it was more full than any other movie this year, if I'm honest.
That makes
Um,
sense because it's very highly anticipated.
Especially
Um,
with the IMAX theater, the screen,
mm,
excuse me, with that big of a room
mm-hmm.
and the pricey ticket that we had, I think that was a good show, well, audience
You had a
um
good group.
turnaround. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, I didn't have any seats next to me that were empty, so that was good. Um,
I
a
hate
lot of
having people next
couples.
to me.
Yeah, there was no children though.
Oh my God, there was like a family of four or five
Really?
down there. Yes. And there were these two kids, like right as the M&M's ad was playing in front, they were like laughing their heads off. And I was like, no, it's gonna be like this the whole time.
Oh my goodness.
However, the comedy in this movie was few and far between, and I think it
Yeah,
just went over their heads. So I didn't get any loud noises or anything.
yeah,
So yay
yeah.
for that.
I mean, the
Um,
second screening that I went to, I went on Sunday as well, actually, and it was quite empty. So I was like, oh no, I don't know why. Maybe it's because people don't want to see it just yet, or word of mouth and all that jazz,
or
etc.,
maybe they
etc.
already have.
Maybe they already have, but no, I felt like the Sunday was quite, I don't know, it was more sparse than expected. I really wanted to watch it because I think I missed a few stuff because I had my 3D glasses on, and I have those 3D glasses on with this
Over
prescription.
the regular
Yeah,
glasses that we
I
can't
had a
see out
headache.
of.
I mean, all I remember was, I mean, there was one scene, and it was right at the end where they go to see their son again,
Hmm.
and I took it as Jake said, "I'm so proud," and I was so like, that's something I remember. I go to the second screening. He said, "I'm so happy." I'm like, wow, my
You're
headache
exhausted.
my headache was not having any
Bad.
fun. No. So I needed to, but I do regret not having it in 3D because the
You,
visuals without it was not good.
I'm not a
You know,
3D
in
person.
2D,
I can't comment on that. I
did you did you watch it
I
in
saw
3D or
I
2D?
no, I saw it in 2D.
Okay.
Nothing, I didn't do anything fancy. I just went
Was it a
again.
big screen?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
big.
that must be it. Okay. I
Yeah.
kind of had a smaller screen
Mm.
than the IMAX, obviously, but it was still good. But I understood the story more,
Yeah.
oddly.
I feel like that's necessary with this one where it's like you go for the first one to do like all the
The
stops, the
experience.
IMAX, the 3D and everything, and then for like the prettiness of the film, because
Yeah.
again, that was one of the big factors of it. And the tech and everything.
Mhm.
Same with the first one, but that falls through again with this one. The visuals. And then I feel like you would need another screening if you did do the whole thing of IMAX and just like probably do a regular screening or something.
Mhm.
So then you could actually tell that he said, "I'm so proud," instead of what you
I'm
thought
so
he said,
happy.
which was, "I'm so happy."
No, no, I thought you said I'm so proud. Was
Oh
that
yeah.
not the line?
I don't remember.
It was
It would have
I'm so
been clear
happy.
if we recorded this yesterday. I
Yeah,
could have told you.
it was I'm so happy. That was
Okay.
the actual line. I was thinking of the other one, but it
Well,
still made me bawl because
I didn't shed a
I was
tear.
Did you not?
No, no emotion.
Nat,
Sorry.
everyone around me in both the
It's like,
screenings were wiping their tears away. It
no,
was that.
no.
Maybe it was just a cold here. Who knows?
I think I felt like that death would have been more impactful if it was the other son, because we spent so much more time with him.
It wasn't. Yeah, that's true. But I think it wasn't the death itself. I don't think that really made anyone emotional.
Or
Obviously, it's
was
kind
it
of sad when they
or
stand
was
out.
it the
Yeah,
tail to that
it was
part?
seeing him again
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
when if you've lost someone in your life, not just you, Natalia, like anyone, right?
I got you.
You I felt that because I was thinking, what would it be like if I saw my loved one again?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's where, James Cameron really ties
Hmm.
that connection. And I think it was clever to do so
Yeah.
because really that was the biggest emotional point the
Hmm.
movie has ever made. And it was right at the end as well. And I
Hmm.
wanted to watch it again
Just
because
for
I
that
wanted
part.
to yeah.
Yeah.
And also because of the story. And the other emotional part was where the poaching of the whale.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
before we go to the actual detail, I was I knew James Cameron loved the water. He's a very big environmentalist, like on Earth Day, he I think he showed in back in the first film 15 minutes of the movie on Earth Day. So he was always, ever since Titanic or even before that, excuse me, he was really like,
Huge
the
environmentalist.
environment is my friend and I love it. And I felt watching that part of the whole trying to kill the mother and the calf and all at the same time. I felt that was like a commentary rather than plot
Yeah,
theme.
I see
Do
that,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
especially with the hunters that we saw again, where they were when Quaritch was like, "Did they ever fight back?" And they were like, "No, never," because of the trauma that they had been to
Yeah.
from that. Also, hello, surprise, Jermaine Clemens. I
I did
was
not see
so
that.
you didn't.
I don't know him. I don't know him.
Oh, okay.
So that
The
was it.
the weirdest thing for
Is he
me
the
is that
one?
he was a scientist on there. He was not the pew pew with the thing.
No, right. Yeah, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a scientist. And the thing that threw me off is that he had an American accent and the other guy had like an Australian, New Zealand
Australian
accent.
accent. Yeah.
And I was like so confused because I was hearing one accent from this man that I do not know, who has the same accent as the man who is currently doing an American one. It was really jarring.
Ah, okay.
So
I did not notice anything. So Jermaine?
Jermaine Clemens is Kiwi.
Yeah.
And I
So
was
he did a
like,
good accent.
he did a good American accent, but I was like so shocked because I was like, why do you sound like that? It was weird.
But you know, he
Um,
actually gave us the cringiest line in the movie, and I wish James cut it out.
was it
Oh,
the
who's having the heart attack now,
no.
or like
Or oh
heartburn,
yeah, who's got the
heartburn now?
no,
Yeah,
it was about harpoon. Who
when
got the harpoon now?
I thought you said
Harpoon.
heartburn. I thought you said
Harpoon.
heartburn. No, because and
No, it's a
before
harp
that,
because she
when
had a harpoon the
yes,
whole
heartburn.
time. Oh my
No,
god, you
but
gotta go see this movie again.
no. It's because
No.
the I don't know who the main hunter was. He said when he hurt the mother with the harpoon, he said she's still going even with heartburn or something like that.
No, with a harpoon in her chest. With an explosive harpoon in her
No, but
chest.
they made some medical terms though. I'm very sure of that.
No.
So I'm gonna watch it again just because of that, right?
Okay.
But anyway, that was cringy. Not to
Well,
get
you got the
aside.
line wrong, so it's not.
It's still cringy.
No.
Who's got the harpoon now? That's kind of cringy. Come on. Oh yeah.
No. I mean,
I was like,
yes. The writing in this movie, again, I felt like this was with the first one. Both of them. The writing, mm, it's
this one was more
especially,
unique though
yes,
than the
for
first one.
sure.
Yeah.
Because the first one I felt like had totally been time and time again. It's just
Yeah.
this one stronger emotionally. Um, I
More intimate.
more intimate for sure. But I still felt like the writing was kind of. I think the biggest part of that was I don't know. There was just I felt like we didn't need the Sky People coming back. I mean, I get why, but I don't think we need. Did we need Quidditch or whatever the hell his name is to come back? Quaritch?
I maybe not Quaritch, but I think the Sky people had
I
to
think
come
Sky
back
People, yes,
because they were living very peacefully, and you
yes.
needed something to
And
disrupt
as
that.
he said in the opening, that doesn't always last, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But I felt like the writing in here was better than the first, but still not by much. And
I
again,
felt,
it's
I
pretty.
felt, yeah. When you're watching the trailers, I thought Katie was the main character.
I thought
But it turned
so
out to be the
too.
son, and I was like, okay, well that
We could have
subverts my
we should
expectations
have
a little
had
bit.
more on Curie because she was so cool.
I was
And she
actually
had
hoping she'd show more of her powers, but
yeah.
but I think it was my expectation, so I shouldn't have done that
Mm-mm.
because I think in Avatar
I didn't know
3
she was
they'll
gonna have
show it.
powers, but when she started doing the thing with the little fish, I was like, that's cool. Are we gonna
Oh,
focus
I
on
knew,
that? And they
yeah,
didn't really.
I knew it the first time I saw the trailer. I was like, she has powers, so I was waiting on that.
I don't
So
care enough
good thing
to
is,
take
don't
notice.
expect too much because there are four other films, six or whatever.
And
Um,
there's a bunch of kids, so they're gonna
yeah.
probably focus on each kid.
Took Took was just like
Took
you didn't need.
Took was she was cute and that's it.
That's it, yeah. At
Yeah.
least she can speak
At
and
least
not
she can
just
speak.
cry every 5 seconds. So that was
Yes.
good. Um, speaking of kids and their mother,
Very
what did
lacking.
you
Much
think?
disappoint.
What did you think about Natalia and Spider? Because they had an interesting
They
and very
had
awful at the end relationship.
I liked it. Mainly because I was on Natiri's side the whole time because I don't like
There's no
Spider. I
get
don't
the
like
tumors
Spider.
out of here.
I don't like him at all. Um I I don't know. I guess
No,
it was
but
fine, but that was
yeah,
mainly just because we actually got to see some part of Natiri because she wasn't really in this one a whole lot.
true. I mean, the ending really, she really came in, but at the point where she was going to kill him,
We know she wasn't.
I
That
was,
was a bluff. She was
I
bluffing.
actually
She
felt like she
really
was
wanted
going to,
to, but
but
she didn't.
she
When
didn't
she
really
did,
tell Spider, "Hey, Spider, I'm going to do this, right? I love
no,
you,"
why?
or
How
something.
could she?
Because he
How could
grew up
she?
with her.
No,
I know,
no.
no, no. There was no resolve at the end, like no scene at
They're
the end
busy
to
mourning their
hug.
son.
But Jake hugs him, and Natalia is like, "Oh, Natalia, if you actually
Natiri
want to
has
say,
never had an emotional connection with him, and
Natalia
I
is actually on,
completely accept
yeah."
that.
But she was going to kill him, and I'm like, "How can you live with
She was
someone
not
who's
going
going
to
to
kill
kill you?"
him. She
Mate,
was
she was
not
going to
going.
kill.
Well, even if
Did
she
you?
was, I would not have
Yeah.
been that mad about it.
Remember when she comes in through this ship
Mm-hmm.
and she's just going killing everyone she sees, and she's
Yeah,
so scared and get it close up.
valid.
And Spider is scared of her. And I'm like, that doesn't show like, oh, you know what, she's yes, go mom, I love you. It was more like she's going to kill me.
No, it was like, no, I disagree. I disagree.
No?
No.
Okay. Maybe it's my interpretation because I had to watch it again to say like, yo, that's kind of not like
And Harpoon.
no, I'm not watching it. I'm very sure it was like no, because he said okay, maybe it is.
Let's not talk about this again.
Let's not talk about
But what did you
it.
think of the fish version of Navi? I like them. I thought that they were really
In
fun.
the
I
first film, they had like three species:
they
the
had
flying birds, the
slimy
weird,
panther.
yeah, and the elephant trunks, whatever you
Yes.
call them.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
and
talking about the
no,
Navi. Yeah,
I'm
okay.
just saying like in comparison, they are just the swimming
Yeah, they didn't focus too
long-headed
much
birds.
on like the
Yeah,
creature aspect,
yeah, and then
outside of,
the
different kind of
elders
whale.
used the um crocodile one.
Yes.
And then there were the whales. So those were the three main ones in this one.
Hmm.
Um, I felt they were all right. It was just like okay, they can swim. You know, like there's nothing much
I like
else.
the different design on them, like the different physicality,
Right, right.
of like the larger arms and
Hmm.
the bigger tail, so then and
Yeah.
their legs. Um which
I think the
then
animation on them was great.
yes, and how they were
Yeah,
more blue, more turquoisey. Um I think for me going forward, my thing is going to be just like, okay, how are you going to step up another version of blue people in this? Because we have already seen other different kinds of Navi in the first movie.
and
Um,
now this one.
and now this one, but the other kind of Navi that we saw in the first one were just like Navi in different clothes.
I mean, are they
Like it
going to go to
wasn't.
Fire Nation next or
Yeah,
what? Like,
exactly. That's what the
yeah,
writer of Avatar said. They were like, "Sorry, you can't name your show Avatar Last. You can't name it Avatar because James
Aaron.
Cameron's already copyrighted it."
I mean, I don't watch that show, so
You damn,
like
much disrespect.
I remember when I was that movie came out, a very
Yeah, no, don't talk
disappointing
about
live
that.
action.
Don't talk
Yeah.
about that. No,
And I was like, okay, I can understand why people they are passionate people. I'm not saying anything wrong. I just that's just not my kind of thing.
that's not your kind of
And
thing. The blue people version of Avatar is.
yeah,
Yes.
but
That's not my kind of
back to
thing.
the fish, back to the
Back to the
fish, right?
fish.
And then we'll go on to talk about what the next storyline is.
Yes.
There was one moment where the CGI pulled me out of the film. You know where Loak is alone in the Three Brothers Rock because the other guys
Abandoned
ran
him?
away? Yeah,
Yes.
that black shark, wherever it was, that looked so
It was a little,
CGI.
it was
It looked
wonkier
so
than the rest of it.
boxy to
Yeah.
me.
It
It
was a
was like,
little boxy. Yeah.
I was like, what the heck is this? Like, why did you like? It feels like they had a day to work at this thing,
That
and
was where they were just like, just do it compared to everything
yeah,
else. Yeah.
no, it really it felt like a first draft rendition of a shark or whatever it was. I didn't like that, but other than that, the CGI was just it was great.
Yeah.
As
Again, I
to
thought it was
what storyline they
pretty.
could do, I feel like
Wait,
it'll
before you do
focus
that,
more on yes,
before you do that,
go on.
can we do like a final thing of what we thought about the movie and then we go forward?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So,
You go ahead.
yes. Again, I've said this before and I will continue to say it. Mid. Prettier than the first one. I do enjoy the water people. Um, the writing slightly better, but not that by much. I am not an Avatar Blue People person. This was homework and it was fine. I don't know if we're gonna do number system. Do you want to do a number system, a rating
Yeah, sure.
out of 10?
Yeah.
If I take into consideration the first film
Hmm.
or if I do it standalone. Okay, if it's the first film, 6. If it's alone, if it's the first film, um, with consideration of the first film, um, 5.
Mm,
Without alone, 6. Yeah.
okay. As
What did
someone,
you?
what did I think of the film?
Yes.
Very excited, like 13 years in the making.
You are a blue people kind of guy.
I was like, it's coming, it's coming. Disappointing year in movies, apart from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was like, James Cameron, save it, save the year with this film. I felt like after watching it the first time,
There you go.
I was kind of wanting them to redo the script a lot.
Yes, the
I
writing,
felt
not it. I mean, again, compared to the first
it
one,
wasn't,
better,
yeah,
but on its own,
yeah. The first one I feel was still better,
mm-hmm.
a
Mm-mm.
tad, like by this much. I really did because it
Agree to
was a
disagree.
better, grander battle. I was expecting more of Kiri's power. I was expecting more of a everyone comes in and kills each other, although the ending of the second one really did fill my cup on that one. But I was expecting more of a grand battle. But it was like, there's so many other movies. There's a third one coming out 2 years' time.
And then
I'm
another
going to
one and
give
another
this
one and
movie,
another.
I'm going to give the movie a benefit of doubt that they had to go small in scale and just focus on
The family
Jake Sully and the family and Quaritch rather than making it of a big adventure that
thing.
the first one gave me. It was good to see Jake and Terry back in the relationship. The kids made a good impression,
I liked
although I didn't
Kiri the
remember their
most.
names after the first one.
I
I
like
was like,
Kiri the most out of all of the kids. I felt like she was like I just wanted more of her and her
yeah,
power. I hope we get it. Um,
they should. They should, like in Avatar 3, show how powerful she is.
yeah. I
Because this one
think
really didn't give it to me. That if they give us like a lot of
I
sharks, I don't know,
yeah.
like are just controlling a lot of animals, I would have been like, you know what, this is a great movie.
I'm
But it's
I'm
still a good
fine with
movie.
how she was able
Yeah,
to do it. Um, because it was both as defense when they were being chased by
crabs.
the crabs, but also as like a kind of helpful trying to
Yeah,
save your
guide.
family out of thing with the little glowworms.
Watching it the second time really made me feel like the children were calming the parents down at the end. Like the parents obviously
Yeah.
lost their child, right?
Yeah, I
And
think so, yeah. I
Kiri
guess.
comes in to really save her mother
Mm-hmm.
because the mother doesn't know what to do. It's
Mm-hmm.
dark. Loak is trying to tell his
Loak
father,
is with Jake,
Jake, trying to tell his father, breathe
what they've
this
taught.
way,
Yeah.
don't give up. And I felt like, that's a beautiful thing because now you're having to, the movies are going to like focus on the children more, even with Jake and the Terry still being in there, but it's going to focus on the kids.
I felt like there could have been just I don't know. I don't know if I wanted there to have been more focus, just like a little bit more on Natiri and Jake, or like how it was, or if I like it like how it was.
I feel
Because
like what I found was Natiri was more in the background.
yes, absolutely, 100% for sure,
If
for
she
sure.
was more forefront, then we wouldn't really have a discussion about
The
a,
parents.
a difference of a, you know, like there was something missing. I felt it was Natiri,
Yeah,
but that
it
was
was a
like
complete lack of her.
but I don't know what she would have done if she was in the forefront of the film
It's yeah,
because
I
the
agree.
first one was really her
Mm,
film as well.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I think. What do you rate it?
7.5.
Okay, not bad.
I was kind of disappointed that I didn't give it an 8.
You don't
I
have to
mean,
be. This is your
visually,
choice.
I know. I mean, I could, but then I'd be like, you know what? It's not that good.
Does it deserve it?
Yeah. But it doesn't mean it's shit,
Yes.
nor is it bad. I
Yeah.
actually enjoyed it. The movie went by very quick. I actually wanted much more,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And a 3 hour film to do that is quite amazing.
I have a writing problem. I just remembered. Um, this will probably end up being explored in the second one.
Hmm.
In the
Third
third
one.
one, yes. Um, which is how they mention that the sky people are coming in, so then they can make a city there and everything. And
Yeah, I think the
that
general
was
was talking
kind
about
of
that.
like thrown away. That was so then we could focus on Quaritch and the Blue People gang.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I thought that was a really interesting concept.
yeah,
Again, nothing new. Um, but I feel like they're probably gonna end up leaving that for later.
yeah.
And I just
Because
wish Quaritch was dead.
I don't know. I'm indifferent with Quaritch at the moment, knowing his actions in the second film, although he was quite an ass in the first one. Um, as to that point where they wanted to really bring everyone of humanity to Pandora,
Mm.
um, that's where Jake became a problem,
Okay.
and that's why she had to take Quaritch, take him out. Otherwise, humanity is not gonna. All this is for nothing, basically. Like the
Yeah.
first one. So
Yeah.
I don't know. This isn't a slight to you, but I've heard a lot of people who were thinking, why do they want to kill Jake? I'm like, he's the guy that ceased
He
all their
started this
operations.
thing.
Yeah,
That's
he
why.
sent them
I
back
we
home.
all know why. It's because of him.
Yeah,
Yay, ye old white savior. Ugh. But
but
like
yeah,
I don't
I was
know.
just like, why are people complaining about the storyline shifting back to Jake? I mean, like, well, one obviously is his movie. Second of all, it makes sense because he's the big bad enemy of that enemy. So,
Because he can't stay dead.
mhm, yeah,
Very unfortunate. I just don't want it to be a kind of thing where it's like he's going to be our big bad the whole time again. I
yeah.
need
No, I hear
something
you.
new. Yeah.
I think maybe the third one will also touch on that. But then I heard Michelle Yeoh's going to be in it, the third one,
I love Michelle Yeoh.
as a doctor. So I
Oh,
think
she'll
she's
be
going to be
human?
human. I think she's going to be human.
Okay.
So, so it shows obviously they're not going to waste her character or her presence on screen
I
just
mean, who
as
knows?
a
Kate Winslet had
fancy
returned,
doctor.
and I forgot about that until the end. So,
Well, it's, in a way, she lost herself into that role, and if you didn't know Kate Winslet was in it, you
yeah.
wouldn't know.
No, that makes sense. I agree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
So, yeah, so I think the third one's going to be exciting. They can't do anything different now because they filmed it at the same time as Avatar 2.
Oh, they did back to back.
They did back to back.
Gotcha. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the only question mark is 4 and 5.
Oh, okay.
So if this makes good money, they'll continue. If not, they may have to redo some. I don't know.
Mm.
That's what I'm hearing. So yeah, 7.5. Um, it was more
5 and 6 for
scale.
me, leading more to
Yeah,
five, leaning
it was
more
more of
to
a
five.
smaller scale of a movie. I was like 13
Yes.
years later, would they, give us something big, something dramatic? But
Mm.
it was more emotional as well.
Yeah.
So, you have to compensate on something. So I'm looking forward and giving the benefit of the doubt to this film by thinking Avatar 3 will be bigger in
Yeah,
scale.
I guess so. One way to find out.
Yeah.
Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much for joining if you have stuck around this long for
Oh,
our
can we talk
review.
about, oh, I was just thinking, can we talk about the ending parts? Where like, did you notice a Titanic reference? I mean, you must have. I
Well,
was thinking that's Titanic right there.
was it when
The
was
boat
it
was
the
turning.
ship turning and then
Yep.
Quaritch was
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
If there's one
Someone
thing
said
James
there was an
Cameron is gonna do.
aliens. There was an aliens thingy, but I don't know that series very
Where?
well. I don't know.
I don't know.
It was more of an amalgamation. No,
Amalgamation.
Yeah, I said that wrong.
Yeah.
Amalgamation of pulling some threads of these movies of his into this one. I mean, it's quite clever, you might as well.
Yeah,
Um,
he owns it. He might as well.
yeah. I mean, it's visually stunning. You should watch it. Watch it in 3D if you have glasses on. I don't know what to tell you. You might have a headache. um,
Yeah, you know
no,
me.
I
I'm
like
not gonna
yeah.
recommend 3D.
The anti-aging part of killing the whales makes sense the second time round.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what they'll do with that later on
Yeah. Or
because you can't just mention it. In the first one, they mentioned the whatever that
oh,
stone was,
the
the
rock that they
rock.
never
I was
touched
like,
on. I feel
yeah,
like a good running theme of this entire series should be some giant thing that they're like, this is why we go to Pandora for some natural resources that we're going to
yeah,
exploit, and then completely forget about it in the sequel.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
if they want consistency, they should bring up another big thing that this is what we're going to Pandora for a thing that we can
yeah.
exploit, and then
Yeah.
completely forget about the other ones
I
from
mean, the
before.
anti-aging thing actually is quite something the humans would want,
Love.
basically. There was also like a question mark where at the end, where did the Green Clan go at the end when it was nighttime? I don't know where they went. The daughter was there. I don't know where the parents were or any of the clan members. It felt like they just disappeared.
What are you
Did you feel that?
talking about?
The green people.
What about them? Where did they
Where were they
go?
at
What
the?
do you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Where? What? For
At the
what? The
boat
funeral?
scene at the end
At the boat scene at the
when it's
end.
nighttime. Yeah.
You mean the funeral?
No,
It was a
before that.
funeral.
No. The the battle,
Oh,
not the start, the end of it. Yeah,
yeah, no, they probably
they
left.
disappeared.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, they left.
but the daughter was there.
The daughter was
I
still
was
there
like,
because she was with them from the beginning.
yeah, but that's why they all went there in the first place. That was the hook for the green
Yeah.
people that their own daughter was there. But then that was it. They just left.
Well, because they listened to Sully, they were like, "It's my battle to fight," and they were
It's
like,
my bad.
They were like,
And then
"We
they
want
went
to kill
in
them because they
and they
killed our
killed them.
whales."
They killed some people, and then that was it.
Yeah,
I mean, it was quite convenient because we didn't really care
we didn't need
about
them.
where they were. But I was just wondering at the second time, I was like, where are they?
They
Um,
left. They did exactly what Jake Sully
yeah.
told them to do, which
And then
was
before we
get.
end this off, the ending,
Mm-hmm.
um, great action sequences by Jake and Sully. They just Sully. I keep saying Sully. Why do I say Sully?
Jake Sully.
Jake, Jake, Jake and Natiri, where they just go ham on everyone. That was just really cool.
I was,
Get that in my veins.
yeah, I was more invested in the Natiri parts, mainly just because she was like not really in this movie. So I was like taking everything in that she was doing.
And she was very ferocious.
She was
She was
great.
angry and
It
she was
was so
good.
good.
And it made so much sense. And going to the funeral, part of it, I was like, oh no, this is really sad because you don't want to, you know, imagine losing your child and you having to give him back. But then at the end, they go.
To
I was like, don't
underwater
end it
Iwa.
there. I want a good resolve. I want
They,
a good ending.
yeah, they go
I
to
was like, don't
underwater
end it
Iwa.
there. And they connect. And then I was thinking he would see his parents for some reason.
Why? He just
I
lost a
don't know why.
child.
I don't know why. I was like, who is he going to meet? Obviously, it's
We,
going to be his child.
yes,
And then
because
he
we
meets
all
his
completely,
child,
yeah,
and then he sees him as a kid,
yes.
and
And then
then he's
we see
as
him
the age he
again as the
passes
age he
away,
passed, and then we see Natiri just stand there.
and he's just like, "Why are you crying? Did I do something wrong?" Because he doesn't know he's dead.
Yeah,
And the dad said, "I'm so happy," and he's crying, and that
I feel
that
nothing.
was emotional. You felt nothing
I felt
because
nothing.
that's you.
That's that's me.
No, but I felt something. I was like, "Wow, that's quite powerful." But then
Again,
the
I'm not a
titties at
movie
the
vocabulary.
background
The tears
just
in the
puts me
background,
away.
like how she was in this whole
Like
freaking
how she
movie.
was.
Very disappointing. Yeah.
Maybe like Avatar 3 might be her film. No, the first Avatar was her film, right?
The
That's
second
how I
one
think of it.
was Jake's.
The children as well as
And
Jake's.
yes, the children. I want the third one to be about
For the children.
I want the I want the third one to be about
Kitty.
Kitty, that's her name.
Yep.
I want an
Sigourney Weaver.
exploration of
We
her.
just want a lot more
Teen Sigourney Weaver.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'm glad she's back. I don't care how they
Very confused.
this was a
I
very good way of bringing her back.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking around for this incredibly long review, which is nearly, not really, as long as the movie itself. Um, I
Like halfway of the second
guess,
one.
yes, exactly. I guess that's about it. Do you have
Yeah.
anything you want to
No, I was just
say to the
wondering what
people?
others are thinking of the film and if you
Yeah.
watched it yet, or you're wondering if you're going to stream it. I don't know if they're
Yes.
gonna I don't
Or
know if
if
they're gonna put it on Disney
you,
Plus
I
just
think
yet.
they will.
No, I think
Um,
they're gonna wait until they milk everything out until February
yeah, I
or beyond.
think yes, or beyond. I mean, who knows at this point because streaming services are just taking everything so quickly.
Yeah.
Um,
There's no other movies for it to compete with until Quantumania, in my view.
barely.
Hmm.
Anyways, um, tell us if you are a 3D person or if you are not a 3D person, as we will, Sohail and I continue to have this debate.
Hmm.
And yeah, I guess that's it. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye.